What's up, everybody? This is Minister Erskine Gibson from Church of the Enlightened, and this video is going to be called Science and Religion Both Have It Wrong. The Universe is a Living Organism. And I made a video like this before, but I'm just going to reiterate what I said before, and that we are in a living universe. The universe is alive. The universe is a living creature, a living being, a living organism. We are the microorganisms within this organism. We are the microscopic creatures. I know we can't see ourselves as microscopic creatures. I'm going to guess that no creature can see themselves as microscopic creatures. But that's what we are. Our solar system is a cell. So understand we are smaller than the cellular level in this particular creature. Now, the thing is whether or not this cell is infected. Because let me explain, let me hit y'all with a little bit of science, a little bit of real science. Let me explain to y'all why life actually exists on this planet. What do y'all think the first building block for life is on this planet? Let me explain to y'all what it is. It's water. Water is the first building block for life, for this type of life. Excuse me, for carbon-based life. Water is the first building block. Why is that? Because the thing that's most important to our survival comes from the water, and that's oxygen. We can't go more than a few minutes without breathing oxygen. So the two most important things we need, water and oxygen, have to be on the planet. The oxygen comes from the water. Some people believe it comes from trees, and yes, trees do absorb carbon dioxide and give off oxygen, but that's not where the oxygen actually comes from. It comes from the oceans. So you need water. The next thing you need, this very, very important, is an electromagnetic field. Why is an electromagnetic field important? Because you need to have a way to keep the oxygen in. That's how we have an atmosphere, because we have an electromagnetic field. Otherwise, if we didn't have it, the oxygen would just float off into space and it wouldn't, concentrate in the atmosphere. What's the next most important thing? I actually should have said this before the electromagnetic sphere, but hey, it don't matter. What's the next most important thing? The next most important thing is temperature. You have to be close enough or not too far away from the star so that the water won't freeze or vaporize. So you must have a certain temperature on the planet for the water to stay liquid. And last but not least, what's the last thing we need in order for life to happen on this planet? Believe it or not, it is the trees. Because the trees actually absorb carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and replace it with oxygen. So you need something to get the excess carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. Otherwise, it'll end up overpowering the oxygen and we'll have a planet that looks like Venus. And since none of us can survive 700 or 800 degree temperatures, that would not be a good thing. So yeah, more trees, the better. But anyway, that's what it takes for life. So the reason why I mention this to you, because we always talk about finding other life. Now, if water and oxygen, because understand oxygen is very corrosive, and so are water, because water has oxygen. So if we are the result of an infection, if we are an infection or the result of an infection because of the oxygen, because like I said, without the oxygen that comes from the water, we wouldn't be able to survive for more than a few minutes. So if we're an infection or the result of an infection, the chance that we're going to find other life like us is very, very slim. Because, if the whole organism is infected and there's life everywhere, then that's not a good thing. That means the organism is probably going to die and we're all going to die with it. Now, let's say that we're not a result of an infection in the earth having all this oxygen and Venus having all that carbon dioxide is not the result of an infection. And the electromagnetic field around our planets is not a way to seal the infection in. And say this happens around every star or almost every star or a whole lot of stars. Then if that's the case, then there's going to be billions or trillions of chances that we're going to find other life throughout this organism or body that we call the universe. Now, the thing is, though, Are the life, if we ever did find life, would it be as intelligent as us? Because I honestly believe there's a chance that human beings on this planet may be the exception to the rule. Our intelligence is so superior to the other life forms, it almost seems unreal if you really think about it. The only chance we have, in fact, actually, before I even get to that, let me get back to why this universe is a living being. Now, understand that if I'm correct, and our solar system is a cell. Now, say if we are infecting the cell by the way we treat this planet. Say if we're making an infection even worse by all the litter, the carbon dioxide, the chemicals we put in the water, all of the stuff, the fracking, all of the cutting down forests and trees everywhere. If all of this stuff is adding to the infection, then what do you do when you have an infection? You take medicine to clear the infection, right? So if we're adding to the infection, the universe is probably going to correct itself and we're going to be wiped out. So all of these prophecies about the world coming to an end could be because of our own doing. Now, with that said, even if we were perfect citizens and did everything right and took perfect care of the planet, if this solar system is a cell, what happens to all cells? Cells eventually die and are replaced. So no matter how we look at it, eventually the cell is going to die, either by infection or just, through natural selection. But at some point, the cell is going to die. It's just whether it's going to be sooner rather than later. So what does that mean for us? If we're here when the cell dies, then that means we die with the cell. We go extinct. All life on this planet will go extinct. So what does that mean? What chances do we have? Is there any way for us to avoid that? The only scenario I see happening is we're going to have to create spaceships that we can survive on in space. And not only do we need to have spaceships that we can survive on in space, we don't want to cause disturbances to the universe and cause any of the defense mechanisms to have to take us out. So we have to keep that in mind. Another thing we have to keep in mind is escaping the gravity of this solar system, which is going to be tough. That's something we're really going to have to figure out because the sun, as you know, has tremendous gravity. I did a video about gravity not that long ago about gravitational force. I didn't do the sun, but I did do Jupiter's. And Jupiter also has tremendous gravitational force, as well as Saturn. Saturn has tremendous gravitational force. And Neptune and Uranus aren't any slouches either. So we're going to have to make sure we have a way to get past the sun and Jupiter to leave this solar system. I think we have like 3 probes that have left the solar system, or 1 and 2 are on the way of leaving. So, we do have knowledge of how to do it. But the thing is, a small probe is going to be nothing compared to the types of ship we're going to have. Because we're going to have to build humongous ships, humongous, the way we can basically have representations of the planet on this ship, when we leave. And that's what's going to have to happen. This shit might sound like a science fiction movie to y'all that I came up with, but I promise y'all it's not. I promise y'all we are in a living organism. And to be honest, the living organism that we're in may also be a microorganism inside of a living organism. And that organism may be a microorganism inside of a living organism. And also understand this, something that the ancient people understood way better than we do. They understood the mathematics of nature and the mathematics of the human body. And they also had a lot of stars to look at in the sky. And they understood the mathematics of those. And if you understand the mathematics of nature, then we can understand the mathematics of the universe, because mathematics are the same. Now, another thing we need to understand is the processes, the biological processes that take place within our body, because those will help us understand the processes happening out in the universe. We are never going to get there with technology and innovation. We don't have the capacity. I don't care how far we get with technology, it'll never prepare us for the universe. We have to understand the biology of the human body and the process. I'm talking the real processes that actually take place inside of us. Things we really have very little understanding of, that the ancients had a much better understanding of. A lot of the things they built were representations of the human body, believe it or not. Like the pyramid, the king's chamber, is actually supposed to be a pineal gland that drastically enhances your awareness. That's what the purpose of the king's chamber was. Now, I don't know about all the rest of the pyramid, but I know that's what the king's chamber is supposed to be. So also understand, this might help put it in perspective for you. If you're having trouble understanding how this universe is a living organism and how we're microorganisms inside of this living universe, then think about the fact that you also have microorganisms inside of you. And you are the universe to those microorganisms. So not only do we have an electromagnetic field going around our bodies just like the Earth, and in case you're wondering why we have one, is because of the electric and magnetic processes happening within our body. You know, blood flowing, organs are operating, brain sending signals. This is why we have an electromagnetic field. Some people call it aura, some people call it ki, chi, whatever. But we do have an electromagnetic field around us, just like the planet. So we are the universe to these microorganisms. And honestly, we probably have things inside of us, watching TV, reading books, doing all kind of shit inside of us the same way we're doing inside of this living organism. Now, you know, I think, man, I'm going to just stop it there and leave it at that for now. I'm going to come back and do more videos related to this because we really have to understand this. Religion has just messed us up so bad and brainwashed us so bad that we can't see the truth any longer. And I'm going to tell you what's crazy to me. Now, I know I consider myself the most intelligent man in the world. I don't think there's any man more intelligent than me. Now, I do know there's people who know things that I don't know. I realize that. But in terms of total intelligence, I doubt anybody is on my level in this entire world. You know, and I forget what point I was even about to make with this, but you know, religion has brainwashed us so bad that people can't see anything anymore. And it ain't even just religion. It's the history. You know, it's everything. We're just so brainwashed and dumbed down that we can't see the truth when it's right in front of our face. Oh, what I was about to say was, even though I consider myself the most intelligent person in the world, I can't believe that nobody else started this before I did. I can't believe that nobody could come to the conclusion that we're inside of a living organism. And basically, just so y'all know, every star we see is a cell. The star is the nucleus, and the planet's revolving around it makes up the entire cell. So we are smaller than the cellular level, as I said in the beginning of the video. That's how micro we are. That's how tiny we are. That's why our lifespans are so short compared to other things in the universe. Because one other thing I've learned is that time, in terms of age, evidently is relative to size. And the more massive you are, the longer you live. And the more micro you are, the less time you live. Now, the thing to us is 100 years is a very long time. You know, to the earth or to the sun, that's like a fraction of an instant. Now, the life inside of us may only live 100 seconds. And to them, 100 years will be the same thing to us as what 100 billion years is. Y'all see what I'm saying? You know, basically the life that we know probably is all inside of organisms. Now, so in a sense, we are inside of a matrix. Now, I'm definitely going to leave it at that. And I'll come back soon with another video, you know, explaining this even more and in further detail. But anyway, if you made it through the video, thank you. I love you. Please like the video. Please share the video. Please leave your thoughts and comments. Please tell me if there's somebody out there who can understand what I'm saying and agree with me. Please, I'm begging you. And please subscribe to the channel. Everybody stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy. Peace.